like the place for your new mine, Mr. Brodrick?
Who told you anything about a new mine?
The fairies, it might have been, Mr. Brodrick.
There's no harm in anyone knowing of it now. I'm going to sink a copper mine in Hungry Hill. These are the plans.
You'll be having no great advantage from it.
That we shall find out.
Oh, I'm not talking of the fortune you'll make. The copper will do that for you. I'm thinking of the trouble and sorrow it'll bring to you and yours.
Well, that we shall also find out.
You should have asked permission of the hill itself. Ah, you can laugh, Mr. Brodrick. You with your Trinity College education and your big pushing ways. But I tell you now, that when your mine will lie ruined and your house destroyed, Hungry Hill will still be standing there to confront you.
I've no time for arguing with you, Morty Donovan. If you and your sons would care to do an honest day's work for a change, I'll be glad to employ you.
I've never worked for any master, nor have my sons, and never will while I live. Doesn't this land belong to us by rights?
These ancient quarrels are best forgotten. All right, young Tim. Good day to you, Morty Donovan.
Yes, the land belongs to us by rights. Aye, and the copper in it too, if we'd a mind to take it.
Careful, my child. You nearly pushed me over. Barbara?
Hello, Father.
Any luck today, Henry?
Just a brace. Well, can you tell us the news now, Father?
Yes, just later. You might hand me those papers, will you, dear?
Is this your secret? I'll carry them.
No, you better give them to me. Everything in good time.
Young Tim. Now then, young Tim, do you know anything?
What the devil a thing, Miss Jane?
Sure now?
What's the holy truth, Miss Jane? But I'll tell you, there's trouble again with them Donovans.
The secret, Father. You promised to tell us.
Yes, all in good time, my child. I had hoped we might all be together. But it appears that John has no more manners than a country lout, and no thought in his head but for dogs and horses. However, I won't keep you waiting any longer because of him. Today, you will be pleased to know that
I'm sorry to be so late, Father.
You'd better ring for Timothy.
I've already seen him, Father.
Father, you were telling us...
Before you came in, John, I was about to tell them of my new project.
Oh, the copper mine on Hungry Hill.
Who told you about a mine?
I heard it in the village.
A mine? On Hungry Hill? Will we become very rich?
But what about the labor and machinery?
One at a time, one at a time. Machinery's on the way over, Henry. And I've arranged to bring over Cornish miners to begin with. I expect resentment from the people here. They resent any form of progress.
But when they see the fat wages you pay to the Cornishmen, they'll come running to you for employment.
I wonder.
You wonder what, John?
I don't quite know, sir. They may come to you for employment, but they'll be very bitter about it.
You appear to sympathize with them?
Well, at least I think I understand them. You see, they look upon us as interlopers, people who've made money out of them and hope to make much more.
Fairly and honestly, by working harder than others.
I know, sir, but they still look on us as outsiders.
Nonsense. There have been Brodricks here for 200 years.
And the Donovans owned Clonmere and Hungry Hill itself for centuries until they were dispossessed. They feel it's still theirs by right. That's why they distrust us. Why they'll work at the mine if they must, but do everything they can to make it fail.
Since you know so much about these people, perhaps you can tell me why they lack initiative and the sense of responsibility that could make this country both great and rich.
Perhaps, sir, they have no desire to see their country great or rich.
Then what do they want?
Speaking for myself, sir, I would say they desire nothing so much as to be left alone.
Henry, will you come with me to the library?
Yes, Father.
There's disagreement again.
As at poor Master John again.
Poor Master John, indeed. And him disputating away with his own father. He hadn't enough beatings when he was younger. Though, mind you, 'tis many a sovereign I've won from his greyhounds.
And many a one you've lost. If his mother had lived, the dear gentle soul, there'd be less trouble in this house and in the village too.
Well, now, if it gives Mr. Brodrick any pleasure to be having a cup of mine now that he's grown old and locked up in himself, well, then no one should deny him.
And is it a mine he wants now? Sure, if it was copper we were meant to be having, wouldn't it be pouring out of the hill in great golden streams down to our very door?
But, Mother, they were cheering Mr. John in the village today when Lightfoot won. He's very well liked, you know.
Good.
Have you the boilers attended to yet?
No, Bridget, no. But it was just getting into my mind to do it this very minute.
Oh, I suppose I'll have to be doing it myself.
No, Bridget, no. With 2 men in the house, never let it be said that you... listen, go and attend to the boilers at once, will you?
You can argue as much as you like, John. But it's all your fault now if Father's ill-humored for days.
Well, you at least aren't complaining about me.
Oh, but I am. You know how Father dislikes any argument or talk about the Donovans.
Oh, well, why does he do it? It isn't as if we needed the money.
Oh, I do. But I know what you mean. What are you looking at?
The hill. But you can't see it tonight, though. The moon hasn't risen high enough. Of course, you've never seen a mine.
John, darling, what is it you want for yourself?
I wish I knew. But not that. Not chimneys and rails, and shafts and smoke, and the end of everything green and beautiful.
Well, Nicholson, it's getting better.
Yes, sir, and it'll get better every day. I'll have this analyzed, Father.
Copper John, look at him, with his pack of foreigners ripping up the whole countryside.
Before the winter is out, you'll find most of the villagers will be working up here.
I hope so, Father. I really do hope so.
It's a picnic we're preparing, not a siege, Miss Barbara.
The officers are all here. Quickly, Barbara.
You mean Lieutenant Fox is here? Oh, you look lovely, my dear. You really do. Timothy, will you take this out to the carriage for us?
I'll attend to it myself this very minute, Miss Barbara. Oh, boys. Hey, here, young Jim. Listen, here's something for you to be trying your strength on. That should be Miss Fanny Rosa, if I'm any judge of commotion.
Where are your manners, you hooligan? Why, John, I do declare you saved my life.
I thought I was saving the horses.
I thought you only handled greyhounds. Horses are so wild. My father always said that the man who could break a horse could win a woman. But you wouldn't know about that. I must ask your brother, Henry. Hello, how are you, Henry?
Fanny Rosa, how beautiful you look.
I've settled Ladybird for you, Mr. John.
Oh, thank you, Tim.
Hello, Fanny Rosa.
Hello.
Don't go in the carriage. Ride with me.
All right, Henry.
Now, don't fret, Mr. John. There's a lot more fun in coursing greyhounds.
Mind your own business.
Aren't you coming in the carriage with us, Fanny Rosa?
No, I'm riding over with Henry. Oh, John, since you're so good at racing greyhounds, let's see how you race horses.
If that Miss Fanny Rosa was a daughter of mine, I'd put her across me knee and I'd mark her for life.
Did I disturb you, John?
Yes, Fanny Rosa, you did disturb me. And then you always do.
Of course, you could go on reading, but then I'd go on talking.
I know.
Oh, now you're angry with me.
Fanny Rosa, how could anyone be angry with you?
You've wanted to do that for a long time, haven't you?
For months, I thought of nothing else.
Why have you been so solemn all day?
I don't know.
John, where are you?
Listen, I can hear Henry calling.
Do you like Henry very much?
Well, he's light-hearted and gay, not solemn at all.
But you do like him.
I like you both. Come on.
Here he be then, £40. Sign your proper name this time now, not Guy Fawkes.
I didn't know the old man was back from England yet.
There's a black look on him, too.
And you wonder.
Cracked heads, I'm thinking. And fairly soon.
I wish you'd sent word to me sooner, Nicholson. However, I think I know the source of the trouble and how to stop it. All right, Pierre.
The best vintage I have in the house. We may be poor, Mr. Brodrick, but we're not wanting in hospitality. You'll excuse me for not rising, but me leg...
I didn't come here to drink your health, Donovan, on my own. I came to tell you that I'm fully aware of all the mischief you're causing on Hungry Hill amongst the miners, and that I intend to stop it.
I don't understand such talk, Mr. Brodrick. I haven't been near Hungry Hill these 3 weeks with this poor leg of mine.
Whilst I've been away, there's been a system of plunder going on at the mine, and you know it. Copper has been taken out each night, in spite of a watch being placed on every shed and tram wagon.
Plunder? Why not ask your Cornish workmen what they do with the stuff, then?
The Cornishmen are innocent. You know that well enough. And the Doonhaven men would have worked honestly enough, but for the poison you spread behind my back.
Poison, is it? Is it poison to call upon the saints to forgive you for working and sweating young children to make you your fortune? Or rather has me speech been filled with pity for you?
I want none of your pity. But I've given you fair warning, and that's all I came for. You can tell your friends that in future they won't find it so easy to steal from me. Good day to you, Mrs. Donovan. Donovan.
And if the men of Doonhaven do sell your copper unbeknownst to you, then it's yourself, Copper John Brodrick, that must bear the blame for putting the poor creatures in the way of temptation.
Save yourselves the trouble of asking your father why I came here. I'd like to warn you, as I warned your father. Keep your hands off my copper, and yourselves off Hungry Hill. Good afternoon. All right, young King.
I still think Father doesn't take these affairs seriously enough. He's just out to catch a few men who are stealing copper. But I think it all goes much deeper than that. The people hate the mine.
I wouldn't trouble your pretty head about that. Things have been very quiet here the last few weeks. And John, do come and sit down. They're sure to be back soon.
Perhaps one of the horses went lame or something.
Perhaps.
There they are now.
Oh, I'm glad you're back. We were getting anxious.
We lost our way, that's all.
You seem to lose it rather often.
But never twice with the same man, John.
Come upstairs and change. You mustn't catch cold after your ride and you going abroad tomorrow.
John! Henry!
Come with me at once.
What's happened, Father?
The mine. Nicholson's men shot Terence Delaney while he was trying to get away with the copper.
Killed him?
No, Dr. Armstrong's with him now, doing what he can. But Mortley Donovan has called out the rest of the village, and they say that if their man dies, they'll wreck the mine itself. I've sent... Look! It started already. Those are the Cornishmen's huts they've set on fire. Henry, you, John, and half the men go by the other road and come up to the mine from the far side. The rest of us will set across the fields and see to the fires. But hurry.
Here's Brian now, Father.
And how is your poor father now, Brian?
He's dead, Mr. Donovan.
Do you hear that, boys? Terence Delaney's dead. They've killed him. The mines it is. The
Now you get up to the counting house. We'll give the warning if they come this way.
Henry, come over here, will you? Tim, you watch here.
Of course, the cave. We used to play there when we were children. I thought it had fallen in.
It had. They must have cleared it away and got into the mine. This is where the stolen copper has been taken out.
Why did you come in, you fool? You were
I came to tell you, there's thousands of men coming up the hill.
Thousands?
Oh, well, 100 anyway.
We'd better go and warn Father. No, I'll go. You stay here and stop anybody from getting into the mine this way. I'll go up by the shafts. It's quicker.
All right, we'll try.
There, Barney. You'll be all right in the morning.
Be 100 of them.
And only 30 of us.
Guard the forges in the counting house. We can't save the rest.
Mr. Brodrick, that your mines will bring you nothing but ruin and despair.
fair. You'll get little profit from this night's work, Donovan. I promise you. And all the men behind you.
A curse on you, John Brodrick, for all the wrongs you've done.
Nicholson! The gunpowder store. Get all our men away. Take them right down, quickly.
Another curse on you, John Brodrick. And all the Brodricks. Until you stand on the edge of your house. And we Donovans are back in our rightful...
Lie down, Henry. Lie down. Lie down. Henry!
You Brodrick went... I curse you now, as I cursed your father.
I think all is quiet now, sir.
Yes.
Is there anything at all I can do for you?
No. There's nothing you can do for me. Everything is quiet now. Nevertheless, Nicholson, I'm convinced that this new machinery will give us at least a 30% increase in our yield.
I hope so, Mr. Brodrick.
You're too conservative, Nicholson. Always have been.
Anyway, the men are working well now. No trouble at all. And over 300 of them at that.
Good. Mr. Henry would have been pleased at these new methods.
Aye, it's sad he's not here to see them.
That is so.
And it's a pity Mr. John hasn't his interest in the mines. Have you had any news of him lately, Mr. Brodrick? Some of the men have been asking about him.
Mr. John is still in London learning to be a lawyer. An uncommonly slow business, it seems. That young lad up there who looks like one of the Donovans. Who might he be?
It is a Donovan.
Huh?
Michael Donovan.
Oh. That's a strange thing, Nicholson. I can get a Donovan to work at my mines. Not a Brodrick.
Come in.
Jane. Darling, I'm so pleased to see you.
Darling Jane. Now, let me have a good look at you. Yes, not bad. Not bad at all. Almost pretty.
Beast. I'm Belle of the County Cork.
Hmm?
Does it take long to become a lawyer?
Oh, a very long time. But what on earth are you doing here?
Is that St. Paul's?
Yes, it is. Anything else you'd like to know, young lady?
Yes. What do you do with yourself when you're not becoming a lawyer?
Watch other people race greyhounds. But tell me, what are you doing here?
I said I could persuade you to come back and live at Clonmere. And without another word, Father gave me £50 to spend in London.
£50? I wish he'd give me 5.
He misses you, John, though he'd never say so. We all do. Will you come back with me?
No, Jane, dear, I don't think so.
Why stay in London? Father wants you at home.
Does he? I think you're mistaken. I think it's Henry he wants, not me.
You're wrong, John. And something more. Fanny Rosa's back in Ireland.
Is she? And I suppose that now that Henry's dead, she's prepared to have me back. She managed to make a fool of me in the past. She probably would again if she had the chance. Oh, no. With Fanny Rosa in Ireland, I stay here. Hello, Father. Barbara.
Hello, John. Welcome home. You'll need some good fresh air to get your color back again. Come along inside.
And he's lost weight, I do declare.
Well, you could do with a little more yourself, darling.
Brute.
Ah, Bridget.
God bless you, Master John.
Welcome home, Master John.
Oh, thank you, Timothy. Lightfoot, you old villain. And Brian Baru. But he should have been a pup still.
Ah, he's a great class of a dog with a powerful appetiter and mine a fine courser. Young Tim trained him under my own watchful eye, of course.
Get away with you. You never looked at the dog till today.
Oh, I've missed you all.
And we missed you too.
Sure, why wouldn't he miss us all? And he alone in England with that pack of foreigners?
Yes, he's all right. Ain't not a hard man at all. I didn't think he'd stick it so long down here at the mine.
Too soon to talk yet. He's only been working a couple of months.
Is Lightfoot all right for the night, sir?
Yes, I think he'll win.
Your dog has doubled my wages for many a week, sir.
Good. Why, hello, Fanny Rosa. And what brings you here?
You? Well, aren't you pleased to see me after all these years?
Wonder.
I thought you might like to take me coursing this afternoon.
No, I've no time for that these days.
Well, in that case, I shall have to go over to the island. There are some very charming officers there. And I think it'll be more pleasant than watching your old dogs.
I doubt whether officers are more charming than dogs. And they're certainly not so pleasant to watch.
Tell me, John, do you go sailing any more on Sundays?
I do not.
My father gave me a little boat for my birthday. I was wishing someone would show me how to handle her. She's painted blue. She lies in the harbor at Andrew.
She must enjoy that immensely.
Well, if you hear of an accident on Sunday, it will be me and my little boat being drowned together.
Fanny Rosa, there are some 20 of your charming officers on Doon Island. You might get them to help you. One at a time, though, because I doubt if there'll be room for them all in the boat at once.
Well, the only one I fancied has gone away. They say his wife sent for him in a hurry. Well, wasn't that more fun than your dreary old mine?
That was certainly more dangerous. If I'd heard of an accident on Sunday, it would have been you drowning after all.
But you're glad you came.
Well?
Sure, you're glad.
It's been a very enjoyable afternoon.
Indeed, you are too kind, Mr. Brodrick.
What did you want me to say?
Only the truth, nothing more, nothing less. John, do you remember the day of the picnic?
I do.
We were happy then, weren't we?
Yes, and so was Henry.
I suppose I'd better put my boots on.
I love you, Fanny Rosa.
Will you be giving me another sailing lesson?
I'd rather you'd marry me first, then I'd have a legal right to drown you.
I don't want to be married. Wear a cap in the house like Mother and talk about servants.
You needn't do any of these things.
And I want to travel.
Married people are allowed to travel?
But then I'd be Mrs. Brodrick and none of the men on the continent would take any notice of me.
I'm afraid they would. Now, when shall I see you again?
I don't know. I might not like you tomorrow.
You really shouldn't, you know. You simply reek of the cellar already.
Confound it, can't I have a drink without everyone treating me like a confirmed drunkard?
Just because Fanny Rosa drives you to drink, there's no need to take it out on me. I often wish I could drink.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Well, no, that young man Fox really deserves...
It's a pity you weren't at the mine today, John. I had a very satisfactory talk with Nicholson.
I was out riding.
We're sinking a new shaft 180 fathoms east of the present one. We know the copper's there, and it's certainly worth the extra expense of trying for it. Don't you agree, John?
Oh, absolutely, sir. Yes, splendid idea. I'm sorry, sir, what were you saying?
It's very fortunate for you, John, that through ill chance you're the heir to such considerable wealth, for which you've never made the slightest exertion yourself, and apparently never will. I've refrained from saying anything, hoping that you'd come to realize your responsibilities. But since this Fanny Rosa flower has returned, your interest in the mine has become even less.
You're right, sir. I am extremely fortunate to be your heir, even through ill chance. But I'm also grateful to you for all you've done for me. And grateful to Henry, too, and to Morty Donovan, whose death through gunpowder made everything so much easier for us.
That you are drunk is obvious, but it in no way excuses your unpardonable behavior.
Pity we must always quarrel during dinner. The food gets cold. It wasn't very funny, was it?
No. I think you ought to go and apologize.
I'll go and see Father has something to eat.
No, don't trouble, dear. I'll go.
Jane, what's become of me these days?
I don't know, my darling. But you're not a very pleasant person.
Why couldn't it have been me instead of Henry? Father wouldn't have minded at all.
That's not true.
But it is. Every day I can hear him thinking what a hopeless person he is compared with Henry. I know he's right. But I've always hated the mines. Now I'm beginning to hate even Clonmere itself. Well, it should have been Henry's by right. I wish it were only about Clonmere that I felt like this.
There are times I could murder Fanny Rosa.
The times when I could, too. Well, I better go and speak to Father. I'm afraid I spoke rather hastily. I very much regret if I said anything that offended you.
No, John. I'm not offended. I'm just disappointed somehow. After Henry died, I'd hoped that you and I might grow closer together. But we haven't. Although I don't think the fault lies entirely with me.
Well, perhaps you're right, sir. But I feel I must tell you that I hate intensely doing anything for which I have no ability.
Well, John, I can see no point in prolonging this conversation. I'm glad you came in to apologize. Good night to you.
Good night, sir.
John, how was it with Father?
Oh, he was very forgiving.
Oh, that's wonderful.
No. We're further apart than ever. We only half understand each other. The trouble is, neither of us will admit it.
That's not the trouble. The trouble is you don't understand Fanny Rosa.
Well, go on, Jane. Out of the mouths. Oh, come on.
Fanny Rosa will marry you the day she wants to. And she won't want to until the day she thinks she can't. Or until the day you do something to make her marry you. Good night. Do I look pretty, Bridget?
You do? But come here to me. There. You're just like your mother. She was pretty too.
Who is it?
Fanny Rosa, open up quickly.
Why, Fanny Rosa, you're always late.
Oh, I've had a terrible day of it. My mother set fire to her new gown, and the dogs ate up the birthday present I had for John.
Oh, Fanny Rosa, it's wonderful.
Oh, do you like it?
Yes.
John didn't.
That's a sure sign every woman will.
Get on now, all of you. The music is starting already. Come on now, Miss Fanny Rosa. Come on.
Jane, I've just been talking to your father.
Dick, what did he say?
Well, he seemed in rather a hurry. Now, I don't suppose it was a very good time, but I think everything's going to be all right.
Good. Oh, I'm so happy. Let's go and dance.
Bridget, don't you think I have nice shoulders and...
Miss Fanny Rosa, saying a thing like that. Hurry now, will you? Master John will be in despair waiting all this time for you.
Would that be a good thing? Tell me, Bridget, you ought to know.
There was never a man yet that wasn't helped to be waiting. Only mind you, not too long. I'll get your dress.
Were you waiting for me, John?
I was.
Well, am I worth waiting for?
You are.
What else are you thinking?
That you should only come to life at night, by candlelight, and then with music playing somewhere far away.
And what else?
I was thinking that if that candle should go out, I might kiss you in the darkness. And then... But that if I kissed you, I might want to kiss you once again. And then perhaps again. But we haven't time, so let's go down and dance instead.
You must put your footman into livery.
When you're mistress of Clonmere, you can do as you please with the footman.
Oh, here, young Jim, here, you'll have room for this on your tray.
Hey, you wouldn't like to sit on the tray yourself.
You've got none of your cheek. You go and attend to your work.
Oh, yes, I have to do all the work, but they can go on enjoying themselves.
Well, isn't it good to see a little bit of fun and jollity in the place again?
Refreshments ready for the musicians.
Sure, of course. Sure, I've 2 half barrels of porter.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, while the musicians have a rest, Cousin Eliza, accompanied by Michael Sullivan, our village fiddler, will play a waltz for us.
Saints above us, that Mickey Sullivan in there with all the quality.
Yeah. Oh, so it is. I better go and attend to the porter.
Slower, Mickey, slower.
I can't help myself, ma'am. The devil's in me fiddle and he wants to dance a jig.
From beyond the mountains.
Absolutely exhausted. I must have a drink.
And I must change and go home. It's late, and it's a long ride back to Andrew.
Yes, I suppose it is.
Well, if you won't persuade me to stay, at least you might find me my shoes.
Oh, all right.
Wake up, Michael. Wake up.
Maybe only a coincidence, but there's a powerful smell of whiskey about here.
Of course, he's drunk. Now he won't be able to ride home with me. Well, must I insist you come with me? Or will you send a groom?
All right, I'll ride with you. If you insist.
I'll be home before you're even in the saddle.
It's a wonder you didn't break your neck riding at that devil's pace.
Ah, sure, the devil always looks after his own. John, look, the moon. Let's ride over the hill. John, why have you been so strange? So different.
Have I, Fanny Rosa?
Yes. Tell me why.
Because, Fanny Rosa, you're like a wild bird. And because no one should ever put you in a cage. But then no one could ever catch you, could they?
I could be caught if I wished.
Did you ever kiss Henry like this?
Henry's dead. And you're alive. What has he to do with us?
But do you love me, Fanny Rosa?
You want me to say yes?
Or even that one day you will love me?
I want to love you now.
dare we go racing with Fitzgerald?
But what would be the date?
January or February?
That's all I wanted to know. Well, the Fitzes are very early.
Perhaps we're a bit late.
Holy saints in heaven! Welcome home.
Well, you might have sent a carriage for us.
Well, the boat must have come in early. We were just coming to meet you. Oh, we've missed you these last 6 months. Jane, darling. How pretty you look.
You know, it's quite wicked the way you do it.
You think it was a conquest?
Complete. The way you talk politics with Father at dinner was past belief.
Ah, that's how my mother fascinated Father. She always said that if you can talk politics with a man, you keep him happy.
You certainly made Father happy, all right. When you started discussing the mines as though you were Nicholson, you had him eating out of your hand.
Not quite. You wait till I make him a grandfather. Yes, darling, I'm going to have a baby. Don't look so frightened. Other people do. And anyway, I'm going to have lots and lots of babies.
Perhaps we'd all better have a little rest.
Oh, come along, children. We'll have tea.
Well, it's tiring work, this being painted.
Oh, stop it, Johnny.
Oh. Now, Fanny, behave yourself.
I'd say it's the other way around. He's pulling Fanny's hair.
Johnny, be a good boy. Now, Johnny, be a good boy, and I'll take you to see your Aunt Janie before she goes.
Where's she going?
To India with her husband's regiment.
India? That means she'll come back with lots of black babies.
Not necessarily. Now, you run and tell Tim to get the trap ready for me.
Excuse me, sir.
John, I think one of the men wants you.
Good day to you, Corcoran.
Your father's after sending me for you, Mr. John. There's terrible trouble at the mines.
Oh. I shall have to take your trap, Fanny Rosette. Goodbye, darling. Come on, Corcoran.
Not a sound. They must be finished by now.
They're still alive. There's not much time.
Who is it you have there?
Michael Donovan. He's finished.
Father, did you hear who that was?
If we can clear away the blockage in time, the water would come this way. The men might be safe.
They might, and the rest of the mine would be flooded.
Yes. They're not even sure of saving the men.
But, Father, you must try it.
Of course. There must be some quicker way. That cave you found when they were stealing the copper, where was it?
I think it was on the 95-fathom level. That must be it.
If we break open the old cave, the water will be released down the mountain.
But you had the cave blocked up. And how?
Gunpowder. Everyone on top.
Everyone on top. Everybody on top.
They've killed him. The Brodricks have killed him.
More gunpowder. They're not through yet.
They've gone away. They've left us.
He's done it! The water's down a whole foot already!
That's right. Go on. Give him a cheer. He saved his mind, but he's killed another Donovan.
I've come to express my sympathy, Mrs. Donovan.
Michael was a fine man, God rest him. We'll not soon see his like again.
It's the truth she's telling you, Mr. Brodrick. My brother was the finest man in this parish. There's his widow now left to starve.
I think you'll find my father not ungenerous.
I wouldn't touch a penny of his filthy money. Kate, put some more turf on that fire. I still have this shivering on me.
His stomach is all upset.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Denny.
The doctor thinks 'tis the water.
Even the very water we have to drink is poisoned by our cursed mine.
Will you take a drop of whiskey, Mr. Brodrick? Take it to your uncle.
I'm particular who I drink with.
I was wondering, Mary, since you won't accept help from my father, whether you would let me help.
Have you come to buy us, Mr. Brodrick? Or is it to pay us off for the loss of my brother's life? I told you, as I told your Michael many a time, he should never have worked for any man, least of all a Brodrick.
Denny.
Oh, well, he's gone now. May the Lord be good to him. But there's one thing I'll make sure of anyway, that Michael's son doesn't do the same thing.
I could get on well with the Donovan family if it weren't for some of the Donovans themselves. Oh, hello, Doctor. Anything the matter?
Henry burnt his finger.
You mean Johnny burnt it for him? Nothing serious, though.
Aren't you staying to dinner?
I'd like to, but there's a case of typhoid that's very urgent.
Anyone we know?
Denny Donovan.
You're sure it's Denny Donovan? And that it's typhoid?
Yes. Why?
I was with him this afternoon. In his own house.
If you've brought that infection back to my Johnny, I'll never, never forgive you.
There's nothing more we can do now, Fanny Rosa. But you must get some sleep.
Is he any better now?
careful, you'll have Fanny Rosa collapsing on your hands. She hasn't been to bed for 6 nights now. And what's more, this is a highly infectious disease.
Always here when I wake up. I'm glad of that.
Of course, I'm always here.
What's happened to that wild bird? Who never let me catch her?
You caught her long ago, my darling. You're the only one that matters. It's strange, I never really knew it until now.
And I'm glad I went to the Donovans.
Why, my darling, did you have to do such a stupid thing? You're worse than all the children put together.
I had an idea. The time we made peace with them. I know it was an unexpected thing.
It was that.
But only the unexpected could hope to work in this country.
You're a terrible worry to a woman. You made me cry. It's all your fault.
Don't cry, Fanny Rosa. I'm not worthy of one of your tears.
I'll remind you of that when you're better. You hopeless man.
I know I'm the most worthless of all the Brodricks. But at least I've been the very happiest.
Why did you pour ink over my desk?
Ink? I haven't been into the library today. I didn't do it.
Tell the truth, Johnny.
I am telling the truth. But I tell you I didn't do it.
You're lying.
I'm not lying, you old fool.
Your son told me a deliberate lie. I considered it my duty to punish him.
It's not for you to punish Johnny. If he's done wrong, it is I who will deal with him.
You, Fanny Rosa, have never laid hands on Johnny since the day he was born. If that boy grows into a man without friends or future, utterly wild, unmannered, and beyond control, it will be your fault. And yours alone.
I shouldn't think you've so much to be proud of the way you brought up your sons.
No, Fanny Rosa. I've always regretted that I never understood John better. It was because of that I spoke. For it would be sad if both John and his son should suffer from parents who realize their mistakes too late.
You know, Timothy, sometimes I think I've spoiled Johnny a little. He's so impulsive.
Oh, he is that, Mrs. John. He's the wild boy.
Ah, but his grandfather's too hard on him. He doesn't understand him at all.
But sure, his father, Mr. John, God rest his soul, sure, he was always in trouble with the master, too. But then he was kind and he was gentle. And Master Johnny, well, he has the quick temper, all right.
I tell you, Johnny, whilst I'm master of Clonmere, I will not tolerate such behavior. To be seen driving through the village with that cake Donovan. Have you no sense of decency?
I'll be seen with whoever I like. And I think it's about time I was allowed to live as I like.
Unfortunately, Johnny, your mother has allowed you to do so since the day you were born. And from what I hear, not even the army can teach you to behave like a gentleman.
If I have to stay here much longer, I'll shoot the old devil.
Johnny,
He's
please.
threatened to cut off my allowance now, what there is of it.
You seem to like whiskey.
Is there anything wrong in that?
No, dear, so long as you don't drink too much.
Well, I don't.
Ah, why doesn't he die and leave us alone?
You mustn't talk like that.
Then we'd have the place to ourselves. Just you and I. Wouldn't we, Mother?
Oh. Thank you, Timothy.
You know, sir, you shouldn't be upsetting yourself. Sure, Master Johnny, he's young, and sure, he'll be leaving soon anyway. And you know, you should be taking a rest. Huh? You're wearing yourself out. What with the trouble in the house and the work at the mine?
Nonsense. I can still do two men's work.
Oh, sure, of course, I know you can, but where's the sense in it? With Master Harry doing so well up at the mines, you know, at your age, sir, you...
Have my carriage sent round at once. I'm going up to the mine immediately.
Yes, but, sir...
Well?
Oh, yes.
At my age,
Hello, darling.
Forgive me if I've kept you waiting.
Oh, London suits you. You look wonderful.
And you're still as lovely as ever.
Thank you, Johnny.
How's everything at home? Grandfather well?
Yes?
I never have any luck.
Oh, Johnny.
Excuse me a moment while I change. What's all the excitement about tonight? Who are these people I'm taking out to dinner?
Oh, we're having a celebration. Henry's been made High Sheriff of the county.
Brother Harry, a sheriff? Well, if that's what he wants, I suppose we should celebrate. Who else?
Loving little fiddlesticks.
Who else did you say?
Oh, Molly and Fanny and her husband Bill.
Are you a grandmother yet?
Not quite. Oh, and Bill's sister Catherine Earle, a charming girl. Who is Doody?
Oh, one of many. And don't read all my letters. Some of them might shock you.
Don't you believe it? Well, at least you're not a secret drinker. I'll only be a minute, darling.
All right, Rose.
Johnny Brodrick.
Yes, I am. Oh, you must forgive me, but I can't quite remember.
All right, you needn't be gallant. You've never seen me before. I've seen you, though, several times. You're very like your portraits.
Oh, you've evidently been to Clonmere. Mother had me painted regularly.
John. Catherine, my dear. You never told me you knew Catherine.
I never knew that I did. Hello, Harry. How are you? I suppose I ought to congratulate you.
Wait till later in the evening, Johnny. Then you can.
Well, shall we go? Lead the way, High Sheriff.
It's a pity we didn't meet at Clonmere.
We should have done if you'd come home more often.
Tell me, if I throw up the regiment, before the regiment throws me up, and come home to live and breed greyhounds like my father, would I see you more often then?
Yes, Johnny, you would. But don't you think we ought to join the others?
Oh, why should we? I don't like the guests, and they don't like me. Come and sit down, just for a minute.
You don't sound a very happy kind of person.
I've never been happy in my life. Sometimes I think an evil spirit must have cursed me in my cradle.
There are ways of removing such curses.
Are there indeed?
Yes. And I think I could help you.
I think perhaps you could.
I should like to try.
Please go on saying that, over and over again. You're so lovely. And yet so much more than that.
I think I ought to explain to you.
Explain what?
Tonight, Harry will announce our engagement.
Your engagement? To Harry?
Yes. We're to be married at Doonhaven in a month's time. I do hope that... Johnny! Johnny!
Please make my excuses to my mother. Tell her I have an appointment I'd forgotten. That I have a headache, anything you like.
Where is Johnny going?
He said he'd an appointment he had forgotten.
But I don't understand, Catherine. What a strange thing to do.
Good morning, sir.
Is it?
10 o'clock, sir. Your breakfast, sir.
Throw it out the window.
Sir. There's a telegraph message for you, sir.
Well, open it.
Sir.
You married, Ward?
No, sir.
Good. Otherwise, for your own sake, I'd have you shut like a dog.
Sir.
If ever I get married, you must do as much for me.
Sir.
Fortunately, however, that will not now be necessary. She prefers my brother. Go on, read it.
Regret to inform you of the death of your grandfather. Passed away peacefully in his sleep.
At last, it's mine. Clonmere is mine. And it's come rather late.
Johnny, isn't this wonderful? Just as we always said it would be. It's been worth waiting for, hasn't it?
I don't know. Somehow, I think it's come too late.
Oh, no, of course it hasn't. I've told Bridget to cook us a wonderful dinner, and Timothy's bringing up the best bottles from the cellar.
And we'll give a party to celebrate our return. We'll invite the whole county.
We're going to enjoy ourselves.
And we're going to do all the things we've always wanted to do.
I must get this room done. It's so dingy, though Harry seems to like it.
When does Harry get married?
Soon. And I think I'll get Bridget to teach me how to cook. Then I can make you all your favorite dishes.
When does Catherine get married?
On Saturday, Johnny.
It has come too late.
Close shave, eh? You were under my horse's feet before I knew what was happening.
It was the powerful crowd pushing through the fair that gave me the shove out in front of your carriage, Captain Brodrick.
Bottle of whiskey, Pat.
Sure, I thought I was on my way to heaven.
Indeed, you weren't far off it. Good day, sir. Well, it's a lucky day for you, Sam Donovan. You weren't killed.
Donovan, did he say?
Yes, Sam Donovan.
Well, I must say that's funny. A Brodrick saving a Donovan. Give everybody a drink, landlord.
Sam, I've been almost out of my mind. You said you were killed.
I wasn't killed at all. I'm alive and doing well.
Thanks, Pete.
My sister Kate.
There's no need to run away.
Didn't think you wanted to recognize me.
Why should you think that? Come, have a drink.
Sure, I never touch it, sir.
All right. At least come and sit down.
Look at that now. The Brodricks and the Donovans drinking together. It is enough to make old Morty Donovan turn over in his coffin. And Copper John, too.
That might have been better if I had been killed.
Why, what's the trouble, Sam?
Our house was burned down. Me and my sister are homeless and living on the neighbors these days past.
But, Johnny, they're Donovans. They can't live in our lodge house. You can't be serious.
Oh, I'm serious, all right.
Nobody has anything to do with them. You must get rid of them immediately.
I shall do nothing of the sort.
You really don't expect me to live here with that sly little Kate Donovan peering at me every time I drive past. Besides, I've given the lodge to Mrs. O'Brien.
It doesn't happen to be yours to give.
Oh, I see.
Mother, I think it's time we had an understanding. For years I've pictured this and all we do together. But now, it doesn't work. It's a failure. Yes, it's a failure.
What you really mean is that it would be better for both of us if I lived somewhere else.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you told me. Mothers are so blind. I wonder what would have happened if your father had lived.
What?
Don't let's make a tragedy of this, Johnny.
But it is a tragedy.
Oh, no. I shall be all right. There's the London house. I shall give parties and be very gay. Good night.
There it is now, Master Johnny. Anything more you want tonight?
No, thank you, Timothy.
There, Captain Johnny. Some more of your favorite pies for supper.
Ah, what would I do without you, Kate?
As you need someone to look after you, Captain.
Come and sit down and make yourself comfortable. Tell me, hasn't Sam gone over to Monday for the night?
He has indeed.
And what on earth have you got to go home for? Yes, Harry has his Catherine. I have But why do you want to go?
Well, Master Johnny,
Oh, speak up, man.
Well, we're, Bridget and myself, we're getting old. And everything is different now that Mrs. John has left.
Oh, I see.
Of course, it isn't easy for us to be leaving Clonmere, where we've been nearly all our lives.
Look, why don't you say what you're thinking? Isn't it because I've got...
Master Johnny, you're living in the way that you think best. You must allow us to do the same.
It's no use, Harry. If the mines aren't making money, we'll have to close them down.
But, Johnny, we ought to try and keep them going, if only for the men's sake, and their families.
Why the devil should we? I'm not running these mines for charity.
But, Johnny, shall we think it over?
What is there to think over? You know the figures better than I do. The mines close down at the end of the month. You can tell the men whenever you like.
Oh, Johnny, I've been tidying up. I hope you don't mind.
No, of course not. Oh, I'm so pleased to see you.
I was on my way back from spending a day with the Bennets, and I got a sudden wild notion to come and see you. It's months since you've been to see us.
I find I'm always rather occupied.
You're still unhappy, aren't you? Like you were when I first met you.
What gives you that impression?
Yes, you are unhappy.
I revel in misery. May I offer you something to drink?
Oh, thank you, no, Johnny. But do have something yourself.
Remarkable. Everybody else I know tries to stop me drinking.
Well, I should, too, if I thought you would drink too much.
Yeah, that spoiled it. I underrated your cleverness.
Not my cleverness. My sympathy. What is it, Johnny? What's gone wrong?
Have you come here to save me?
To help you, if you'll let me.
Nobody can help me.
I could, I'm sure.
Well, as a matter of fact, Catherine, I'm in terrible trouble up here.
Yes.
No, I can't tell you any more than that. I'd be ashamed to.
You've been unhappy. Unhappy people often do foolish things. I'm sure it's no worse than that.
Catherine, if you knew for how long I wanted to see you again, how I wanted to tell you that...
I'm sorry, Captain. I didn't know you'd be wanting to be alone.
Get out, Donovan! Get out!
I understand, Captain. I understand.
I think you ought to go, Catherine. Now.
I'm not upset by what Donovan may think.
I tell you ought to go. Do you mind? I don't want you here.
Of course, Johnny. You're probably right. You're a much nicer person than you'll ever know.
I thought I told you to get out of here.
I have something important to see about Mr. Brodrick. Though it's sorry I am that I interrupted your bit of fun.
Get out, you swine. Get out!
Now, you're tired, Mr. Brodrick. So I'll be back in the morning.
I'm telling you to get out of this place. To get out of Clonmere.
There's something for me to say first. Me sister Kate. Wouldn't it be too bad if she had to suffer now? The Brodricks destroying the Donovans again wasn't enough for you, maybe. So now it's your brother's wife as well
Perhaps now you'll get out and take your sister with you. But let me tell you one thing. If ever you set foot anywhere on my estates again, I warn you, I'll kill you, Sam Donovan. Yes, I'll kill you.
Great pity it ever happened.
But it's all settled, you say?
Well, the girl made no trouble at all. I think it might be a good idea if you went to London for a holiday.
I'm not running away.
Oh, of course you're not. But there's another reason for going. Mother.
Why, what's happened to her?
I'm not quite sure. But as you know, she's been spending a lot of money recently, much more than she needs. Last month, she spent £900, and now I hear she sold the house. If you were to go, you might find out what's happening. I wish you would, Johnny.
It's a fraud, I tell you, a fraud. The whole place is run by trickery. That man is cheating. The whole of London shall hear about this. How dare you touch me? Leave me alone. I shall have this place closed down.
Please, madam, don't make a scene. It's just a matter of luck. Tonight you lost, tomorrow you'll make a fortune.
Oh, nonsense. Now look what you've done. Oh, thank you very much, young man. That's very kind of you. Johnny.
Faites vos jeux. Vos jeux sont faits? Hello, Mother. Je dis. Rien ne va plus.
Johnny. You've changed, darling. Last Thursday, I think it was, I won over £400, and the next day another 2. I thought I'd found the perfect system. But tonight they must have changed the run of the wheel or something, because of course all these people are dreadfully dishonest. But I'll beat them. I'll have another run.
But Mother, you must realize that you can't find a perfect... Mother.
Well, I haven't been sleeping very well lately, Johnny, and I found... Johnny. Oh, Johnny. Will you have your whiskey? Why shouldn't I have... Oh, Johnny. Why did you come? I'm much better left alone. Why on earth did you come?
I've told you, Mother. I've told you already. I've come to take you home.
To Ireland.
To Clonmere.
It's too late, Johnny. It's too late.
Listen, Mother. We both helped each other to become what we are today, and we're both to blame. The only thing left to us now is to help each other again. But if we can, to be something different.
But there's time for you, Johnny. You're young. But not for me.
You don't understand. I'm thinking about myself. And what might happen if I go back alone. Like when I was a little boy and I couldn't stay in the dark by myself. And now, it's just the same again. Please. Please.
Johnny, you're sure, aren't you, that it's not too late?
Quite sure.
Timothy. Bridget.
Well, it's nice that you're back again, Mrs. John.
Ah, this is home again indeed.
And you too, Master John.
Thanks, Timothy. And, well, it's good that you're both back here, too. Bridget.
You know he called me Mrs. John, not Mrs. Brodrick. That was always a good sign in the old days. I wonder... Timothy, where's Mr. Henry?
Oh, sure, of course. I knew there was something that I forgot to tell you. Master Harry said he'd be back later. See, there's trouble at the mine with them closing down.
Oh, of course, I'd forgotten. I'd better go and see if I can help.
No, darling, leave it to Henry. He knows all there is to know about the mine. Besides, it's getting late.
No, I must go. You see, it's my fault, really. I think perhaps we ought to keep the men on. Just for a while, at any rate. And you get back to your extraordinary housekeepings. I'll be very hungry when I come home.
You better keep the mine working, otherwise it'll be worse for you. Please let me speak. Stop! You can't let our women Who's going to feed our women and children? Plenty there. Why can't we go on working?
When my grandfather started these mines, copper sold at £90 a ton. Now, with cheap ore being shipped into England from abroad, we're lucky if we can get £20 a ton. And that's why my brother has ordered the mines to be closed.
Then why isn't your brother here to say so?
I ordered the closing of the mines because they're being run at a loss. But now, I think we should try and find some way to carry on.
That's nothing but promises and talk. There's been too much of that already.
So it's you again, Donovan. The mine is no affair of yours. And I haven't come here to quarrel with you, Sam Donovan. It's these men and their work I'm thinking about now.
It's all lies, I tell you. All Brodrick lies.
Johnny was murdered.
But every man of them denies ever pushing him down the shaft.
I tell you, he was murdered. And my other son likely to die so badly as he hurt. And you expect me to agree that nobody is to blame, is that it?
Not that, Mrs. Brodrick. All I say is that there is strong doubt in the case. Could be passed off as a common brawl. But if you insist that we charge them with murder and riot...
I do insist.
Then it will mean that Donovan and the ringleaders are liable to hang for murder, and the others to penal servitude for riot.
I'm glad. Good day, Mr. Hennessy.
Mrs. Brodrick, I want to speak to you.
Mrs. Brodrick? Well, what is it?
I was thinking to myself, what a pity it is that your husband, Mr. John, God rest him, isn't with us now, and what he might have done.
What do you mean?
Mr. John had an understanding of these people because he had a love for them. And if others had listened to him when he was alive, Sure, there's many a trouble would never have happened.
My son was murdered. They must suffer for it.
Mr. John was never the man for believing in an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. He knew that if hatreds are ever to be stopped, well then, Brodricks must be forgetting that they're Brodricks. And no Donovan remembering that it's a Donovan. Wasn't it because of that he went to their house and got his death from the cruel fever? And I know that if Mr. John was here, that he'd not be for having Sam Donovan hung.
And he'd be right. I'm thinking of what this will mean to the children there will be. Brodricks and Donovans.
It'd be a hard thing for them to grow up with the Donovan curse on them.
I know it was an unexpected thing, but only the unexpected could ever hope to work in this country.
Timothy, you may go and tell Mr. Hennessy that I've changed my mind. I am withdrawing the charge. You can tell him it's because only the unexpected can ever hope to work in Ireland.
I'm so glad. I'm so happy. And I know you'll be happier too. I'll go and tell Harry.
Mrs. John, I can tell you now that neither you nor any Brodrick to come will ever want for friends in these parts as long
Timothy, you talk too much,
Sure, I know. I've a terrible tongue.
but a very wise one. And I think I've learned a little wisdom too.
God bless you.
I hope that now, after all the misery, Hungry Hill will be at peace again. Once more green and beautiful. And that the Brodricks and the Donovans will live quietly together at last.